Mark, what were you guys looking for when you had to kind of restart that QB search late in the process, and what attracted you to Terry as the number one option?
Yeah, it was obviously, you get thrown curveballs, throughout this process. We understand that. I think that is definitely one position that's a little bit unique because you really focus in on guys early. You kind of get that relationship and try to nail that down. And it does get touchy at that spot. I think every other position, we recruit a bunch of guys. So if something falls through, you move on to the next guy. And I truly believe that every player we sign or whoever signs them, it's meant to be. So really I don't get too flustered or too worried about any of that kind of stuff with the guys that come and go. I do think quarterback is a different situation. It was I think a credit to our staff to go out and look and see who was available. Fortunately, Terry was there, and so we're very blessed to have him in this signing class. I think it was a position we definitely needed to get somebody in this spot. The nice thing about Terry is he's a year older, played a year of college football. He's already been at the Power 5 school for a year, so he knows what he's getting into. The beautiful thing about him was he was a joy to recruit. It was very difficult. He was getting pulled a million different directions, and there was a time when things started getting very hairy where he was getting pulled from people at his junior college, from everybody, and that's when you saw maybe some reports of when he was coming, and he and I sat down and I had a very direct conversation with him, and he was unbelievable. You saw the maturity in him. When he talked to me, he said, "I never really looked at it that way." He said, "I hear you, Coach." I told him to think about a few things, and he called me back 40 minutes later. And he said, "Coach, I'm coming in. I'm coming in on this date. I don't care what anybody else says." And he came in, and it's been a great recruiting process from that point on. Came in, had a good weekend, and he's been a joy to recruit.
How does he fit into what you guys try to do offensively, and what will he kind of add to the competition next season?
Well, he fits in very well with what we do. I think, we molded the offense to what we had to, a year ago, like we talked about. We have tried to be more efficient in throwing the ball, and at times we have. And again, that goes with everybody. That goes from protection to receivers and quarterback and so on. I think we all want to take the passing game up another notch. And again, I think that's not throwing any shade on Steven. That's with the whole offense, and in particular with getting some playmakers around him. But he's very versatile. He's got a very strong arm. He's very, very poised in the pocket. But yes, he is athletic as well. So that's nice to have that. Yeah.
Talked about teams maybe coming in late, trying to pick guys off at the last minute. As far as Terry's recruitment, what was just that process like? Because I know kind of late on, it seemed like there was a lot of schools really after him, but then he was solid on you all.
Well, there was, and again, I think I touched on it. I don't think I need to get into complete detail, but again, he and I had a conversation that I wanted to gauge is how sincere he was with us, and it wasn't going to be in the situation where we were getting bounced around on visits and dates, and so he and I had a heart to heart, and again, he called me back 40 minutes later and said, "Coach, I'm coming. This is what I want to do." And there's a lot of people that get in these kids' ear, and that pull a million different directions. At the end of the day, these guys have to do what's best for them, and so he tightened his circle, had a conversation, decided to come in, came in, and had a great weekend, and he's a remarkable young man that you guys, I look forward to you all getting an opportunity to visit with him, because he's strong, and he has the characteristics that you're looking for in a quarterback. And once he made his decision, there was no wavering in his mind. That's what he was going to do. There's a ton of good schools that just come in for a weekend, just come have fun, come do this. No. He was all business. That's what he wanted to do. He was locked in, and you have to appreciate that. Those characteristics, that type of leadership will carry him a long way.